first episode of the 300's Drive Time. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about today, we read a little bit of a snapshot before the draft gets going, is Kristaps Porzingis. Now, this is a guy that I did not think was going to be available. He should not be available. If I'm the Knicks, that makes no sense. The guy's 21 years old. He's 7'3", averaged 18 points a game last year, and the guy could hit the three ball. It sounds like someone you could probably build a franchise around. But for whatever reason, the Knicks, they seem like they're going to trade him. And I kind of thought it was more of the usual bluster around the NBA, rumors, just kind of smoke and mirrors. But then Phil Jackson goes on TV last night and starts talking about how he needs to do what's best for the team, talking about what it might take to get a player like Kristaps, all but promising this guy's out the fucking door. And that I just do not understand. All this because Porzingis blew off your exit interview meeting. It sounds like Jackson's a little bitter, and he's just trying to spite Porzingis and get what he can. So the problem with Phil Jackson is he still thinks he's the smartest guy in the fucking world. You won a lot of titles, but you also had 3 of the top, 20 players of all time on your teams. You had Michael Jordan, you had Kobe Bryant, and you had Shaq. And those were the guys, those were the pillars of your championship teams. You're not this great architect, Phil. You had some of the best players of all time in their primes. That's why you won so many goddamn titles. Not to mention, the triangle offense, running that bullshit 20 years later. Maybe the reason the triangle offense was so successful is because you had Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kobe Bryant in their primes. So maybe don't try and, jam that into a 2017 offense where the league is a lot different than it was back in the day. But back to the point of Porzingis, and it seems like he's on the block. It seems like he probably is going to get traded. If I was a Knicks fan, I would probably just kill myself right there. But what's it going to take for the Celtics to get him is the real question. Now, just the other day, we're all bitching that the Celtics trade down, they get more assets. Like, why are you going to get more assets? We have enough assets, Danny. Stop trading down. Make the pick. Swing the bat. But you can't give up too much for a guy like Porzingis. He's a great player, but I think the best way to explain it is I heard Felger saying it the other day was you cannot come out of last year's draft with this year and next year's draft. You need to get one of those players from each draft. So you cannot give up Jaylen Brown, the number 3 overall pick this year, and the Brooklyn pick next year. You can't do that. That's too much. That's pretty much the entire Brooklyn haul. So you basically did all this to get Porzingis, who I think is a great player, but you cannot give up 3 potential top 5 picks. Jaylen Brown's the number 3 overall pick. This would be the number 3 overall pick this year, and God knows you could get the number 1 overall pick again next year. I think it's a little bit too much. What would I do to get Porzingis? Obviously you're bidding against other teams, but it sounds like the Knicks are under the gun. So, I would offer the pick this year. I would offer Lakers pick next year, and try and throw in a couple players, whether it's Marcus Smart, Jay Crowder. I really don't want to give up one of our lottery picks and Jaylen Brown. I think that's where you kind of get to the point of diminishing returns, and then you're really starting to not get as much value as you need to really build this into a contender. But it's going to be enjoying. It's going to be fun to watch because the rest of the NBA is losing their frigging mind. You get all these players opting in, opting out, forcing trades. You got the Lakers clearing cap room. You got the Nets making deals. So it seems like everyone is losing their mind. Cleveland is imploding. That place is a friggin' dumpster fire now. It sounds like LeBron has got 1 foot out the door already. This is a team that's been to the finals 3 years in a row, and they're having a panic attack. So it'll be interesting to see tonight in Brooklyn, and hopefully Danny doesn't trade back for another 5 draft picks, because then I'm going to blow my brains out. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.